This is Bev Herring coming to you from the Rich Thoughts studio. Rich Thoughts is sponsored by the Debt Free Army, and today is the 4th of July. Now, the 4th of July is a great day because it's my birthday. Oh my goodness, look at there. A surprise visitor.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to my fine wife. Happy birthday to you. Folks, you're going to be blessed. She's not only a wonderful wife, going on 40 years, but she's an anointed teacher of the Word and a patriot, second to none.
Well, thank you, darling. Thank you for your greeting. You know, I was just about to tell you, thank you, darling, that every year on my birthday, my husband arranges picnics and parades and even fireworks all over the country in celebration of my birthday. Is he not wonderful? Okay, you know, it's a grand day for a number of reasons, but just stay with me and I'll be right back and tell you about him right after this. Welcome back. You know, have you ever had an heirloom that means a lot to you, but you're not quite sure that it's going to mean something to somebody else? Well, I have a lot of heirlooms like that, and they're treasured by me, and someday I hope that they'll be treasured by other people too. I brought one of them with me today. I'm going to see if, and I'm going to hold it up for you, and see if my techie can, you know, zero in on this a little bit. Here we go. I think he's doing a good job. Anyway, it is actually an invitation to Abraham Lincoln's inaugural ball. Yes, it is. You know, it was given to my great-great-grandmother, and I mean, it was given to her, so evidently maybe my grandfather was deceased. I don't really know for sure at this point. But anyway, it's just meant a lot to me over the years, and I think it would mean a lot to other people too. I want to show you another little heirloom that means a lot, and since we're already zeroed in, I want to show you. This is a lantern. I know, it just looks like a plain old lantern, doesn't it? But this lantern, we can pull out again now. This lantern was my great-grandfather's, and he was a doctor, and it hung on his horse and buggy so that he could have his way lit when he went out at night to visit patients. It's inscribed right on it. It has Dr. C.S. Rich, that was his name, and that means a lot to me. Now, some things can be considered valuable because they'll fetch a good price, you know, and then other things are valuable just because they are personally very, very important to the person who received them. You know, maybe for you it's a plaque or a certificate or something that meant your blood, sweat, and tears in doing something, or your business that has your name on it because you take pride and you built it from the ground up. You know, it represents your life. You know, there's one thing that we do all have in common, and I want to tell you a little bit about it right now. Have you ever received something that at first didn't seem valuable to you, but later on you regret not being more appreciative? I know that that's happened to me in the past. When I was married, as my husband said, almost 40 years ago, my grandmother gave me a beautiful white crocheted bedspread she'd made herself. When I realized it was for a double bed, I remember remarking to her, really, "Oh, Graham, Harold and I just bought a king-size bed for our wedding." And which time Graham said, "Don't worry, I'll make it into a king-sized, you know, bedspread." Well, my mother later took me aside and she rebuked me for my callousness. You know, I didn't mean to be calloused, but she said I had no idea the hours of time and attention that went into this to make it really a beautiful piece. And you know what? I didn't. It was a labor of love for my grandmother, done without complaint just for me. You know, today is the 4th of July, and there might be some things that we've been taking for granted, but you know what? We can really make this a great 4th of July. Stay with me. I'll be right back after this.
You know, there's all different kinds of money. There's hard-earned money, inherited money, stolen money, gambling money, and the list goes on and on. I'm Harold Herring, president of the Debt Free Army, and I'm here to tell you about a very different kind of money, miracle money. I've discovered that God's miracle money is available not just to a select few, but to those who know how to reach out and receive it. I want to send you a free copy of a book that I helped develop and publish entitled Miracle Money. God told me to put this book into the lives of those who had the faith to pick up the phone and call 1-800-DEBT-FREE. If you're suffering economic hardship, if it seems you just can't make ends meet financially, then this may be the most important phone call you'll ever make. The book is free. The call is free. So why not pick up the phone right now and call 1-800-DEBT-FREE.
Learn about the miracle money God's holding for you. Call 1-800-DEBT-FREE.
Today is the 4th of July, and as we excitedly plan our day, we may not realize what it took to enjoy the ability to freely go where we want to go and do exactly as we want. Somewhere in the past, someone gave their life, maybe their limbs, maybe they still have nightmares over some of the things that they saw happen to them so that we could live in a country where we can go where we want and do what we want. And that's a lot that we sometimes take for granted. I mean, you know, it's easy to take it for granted because we grew up always having the kind of freedom that we enjoy. But you know, there are people that didn't always have, I mean, are even living today that paid a price for us to be able to have this freedom. You know, when I was a child, I remember it was my birthday, the 4th of July, but we weren't celebrating because it was pouring down rain. Not only was it pouring down rain, but it was thundering and lightning so much that it just kept the outside, it was very, very dark, even though it was in the middle of the day, but it was just thundering and lightning so much that it was just lightning up the sky all the time. And I remember, because I was very young, the electricity had gone off. We were all huddled in the living room with my mother. It was me and my siblings. And my father comes out fully dressed in his World War II uniform, military uniform, and he's on his way down to the cemetery. Now, my dad and a group of men, excuse me, met every 4th of July at the cemetery to do the 21-gun salute. And today was like no other day either. Now, I'm talking, this is 10 years after the war, right? And at least 10 years or so, as I would know. And when they were on their way down there, you know, here I'm begging my mother, don't let him go because it is really awful out there. I was probably all of 5 years old, and it was just terrible. But he refused, along with the other gentlemen, to let the day go by without giving proper honor to ones who had fallen. So, you know, how much do we really appreciate the freedoms of today? Each of us have to make up our own mind. You know, what we might be willing to do to keep this country free. You know, prayer I consider one of the greatest honors, and I also feel that that is something that I can do, and it's a very easy thing to do because you can pray anywhere at any point. You know, you might know someone who served in the military. You might know a son or daughter that had been lost in military service or maimed or hurt or is suffering from military, you know, having served in the military, or just plain are home and happy to have that over and behind them. You know, if you give them a call and say thank you, it might seem like a small thing to you, but it could be a big thing to someone who's serving. You know, on this 4th of July, I want you to go out and have the best blessed time that you can have. And I hope that in saying that, you'll enjoy the freedom that you have been blessed to enjoy. And you know what? Until next time, keep thinking those rich thoughts.